Hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly tapping with EFT. If this is your first time here, I'll give a quick explanation. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. On this channel, during this live that we do here together, we engage these techniques as a form of stress and overwhelm reduction. There are many ways to engage EFT to alleviate phobias, depression, anxiety. It's been clinically studied for a lot of different things, extremely effective for PTSD. We don't go super deep. Well, I say that. Sometimes it feels like we go really deep, right? Um, when working one-on-one with a practitioner, it's different. In here, working as a community, the goal is what's on your mind now? What can we do right now to bring you some relief, some peace, some clarity, just to feel some support and to feel heard within our community together. The session lasts for an hour. If that's too much for you, no worries. You don't have to stay the whole time. If you have something that you want to share that's on your mind, you can place it in the chat, and I do my best to integrate everything. If you don't want to share, you don't have to. Simply think about what is affecting you as we're tapping on something else, and you can still receive a benefit from it. That's one of the beautiful things about EFT. Now, if you want to email me something privately that you'd like to address, but you don't want anyone to associate it with your name or with your handle, my email is amanda@eftuniverse.com. You just need to send it to me 24 hours before the live, which happens every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Let's see, there's something else. If you have no idea what tapping is at all, you can just follow along with me. You'll get it very quickly. It's a very simple process, but with profoundly effective results. So I'm going to glance down here at the chat. Hi, Snea. Hi, Karen. Thank you for that. Hi, Mama Hutch. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Hi, Kylie. So glad to have you guys here today. So I don't have any emails from this previous week of things that people wanted to share and tap on today. So we can get right into grounding and just centering ourselves for a second, and then whatever you guys have coming up for you. So feel free to go ahead and start. Oh, hi, Dr. Sanders. You didn't get a reminder? Yeah, I'm here. That's interesting because I was thinking, oh, there's not as many people as usual. So maybe that's why. Makes sense. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here anyway. And the replay will be available for those who didn't know to come. So let's go ahead and take a moment to get centered and get everything back to our bodies. So let go of anything that you're thinking about right now of like what you want to tap on, or we're not even going to bring that into this moment. This moment is just, we're just sitting with our bodies. So go ahead and take a breath here. Let it out. I'm going to close my eyes because I'm really focusing in on my body. I'm going to let my posture slump. Just really give this sign of resting and relaxation right now. Let's take another breath. If you feel any places of tension in your body that you need to kind of wiggle, shift the way that you're sitting or laying. If you need to adjust your posture, I'm feeling some tension in my neck, and I'm just going to kind of gently touch it, brush over it, just kind of let my body know, hey, I feel you. I know that something's here. We're just going to try and just shift that a little bit. Didn't want to be shaken out. Okay. Now I want you to focus on the different parts of your body that I'm going to name. And this is just to bring all of your focus and concentration into where you are in this present moment. So where in space are your fingertips? You don't have to look at them, just feel them. Where are your fingertips? And where in space are your elbows? And where in space are your hip bones? And where in space is the back of your head? And where in space are the backs of your knees? And where in space is your rib cage? And where in space is the tip of your tongue? Let's take another breath right here and out. I'm just going to speak an intention. You're welcome to add or change whatever fits for you for this hour. I'm going to put my hands over my heart just because it helps me feel like I'm expressing my sincerity better. And my intention is that as we spend this time here together for this next hour, that even though we are in different parts of the world and having different life experiences, that we're all here for the same purpose. And because of that purpose, we're able to connect with each other, regardless of anything else. And we're able to feel supported and to feel connected. And as we lean into this community that we've created for this moment in time, that we give ourselves permission to receive the nurture, the care, the insights, the peace, the shifts that are offered to us today. And that even if you don't put anything in the chat or you're watching this later, that you still get to receive the benefits of what you came here to get. I'm going to take one more breath and out. Okay. Now open up your eyes if they've been closed. And I'm going to look at the chat real fast to see what you guys have for us today. Okay. Dealing with anxiety, stepbrother coming for 3 weeks, expecting me to cater to him. Okay, so I'm guessing, is that Sybil? Let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. So Sybil, would you say that's more with like boundaries, history of expectations of you don't get to be heard, you don't matter, everybody else matters more? What is it about that makes that so overwhelming? I mean, not that that expectation wouldn't be overwhelming in general, but what specifically to you is overwhelming about that? Okay, excited and anxious about moving. Banishing people pleasing. Yes, please, Karen. Thank you. Detaching with love from feeling responsible. Okay, for other grown-ups and family. Absolutely. I'm like, I have to be careful around people who are sick so that they won't get worse. Okay, Melissa, if you can give me a little bit more on that. Is it like a fear of, I don't know what germs I have, therefore I have anxiety about what I might inadvertently give, and if they get sicker, it's my fault? Or more like, geez, enough already. I'm being as careful as possible. Don't put so much on me. Um, I don't want to upset them. Okay. Scarcity mindset versus abundance. Okay. Thank you for that, Shay. That I am executor, fear of him interfering with the process. Okay. Awesome. So a lot of what's coming up today seems to be on boundaries, um, and that line of empowerment versus disempowerment. So I love this. Releasing expectations over our immediate loved ones, letting them be, set them free. They have the right to be themselves too. That was a big one for me too, Snea. Disturbing health test findings. Okay, despite taking good care. Okay, so would you say, Dr. Sanders, that's, and let me know if you want me to just call you Scott. Whenever I see doctor, I always feel like that's being asked to be stated that way. Would you say that you feel, okay, thanks for that, Scott, like you feel violated by your own body? Like it's what's the word? That it's betrayed you? Do you feel betrayed by your body, or is it something else? What is it that's made it disturbing for you? Um, okay, as I'm going through these, I think where I want to go first is let's tap a little widely, a little vaguely on just empowerment and permission to ourselves with that. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Embracing being, unfolding of our lives, experiences. I love that, Cedric. Thank you. Um, Definitely would be more towards the end. We're going to knock out some of this heavier stuff out of the way first. But I appreciate that inclusion because I think that is important and will be important to put in today. Okay, so let's start with permission that we're giving ourselves for what we're feeling internally, and specifically with empowerment. So go ahead and start tapping on the side of the hand. As I consider this situation that's currently on my mind, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even before I do anything to shift it or myself, I simply choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I give myself permission to make this choice because I want to, because I'm choosing to. And I release myself of any boundaries or expectations that I may have felt like I needed in order to have this type of permission before. Whether or not this is new and foreign and feels weird, or I'm excited about it and it feels good and it's familiar to me, I still give myself permission to give myself an offering of what I want before it's earned, before it makes sense, before I have an actionable pathway. I allow myself to align with the vibration, with the emotion, with the attribute that I want, that I'm looking for. And as I allow myself to have my experience that I'm having and not have that get in the way of me receiving what I want, I wonder if that could open up pathways of thought, of action to my destination that I haven't considered before. Because now I'm allowing myself tools and abilities that before I may have thought I had to wait to receive until I got there. But what if I could have them all along and they build with me on my journey? And they're still a part of the end, but maybe they get to be a part of the process too. But as I give myself this permission, which sounds really awesome and exciting, I wonder what that would be. What tools, what gifts, what support am I giving myself permission to receive with this? What words would I use to describe what that is? So, what words would you use? I know I said empowerment, but what else would you give yourself? What else do you give yourself? If you're not sure, that's okay. Even if I'm not sure right now, I can receive it as soon as I'm clear. I can also just guess, and then I'll know whether that's what I want or not, and I can change it at any time. Also, there's no limit to this. I can give myself multiple tools to receive, and all of them are welcome. My situation, this situation that's on my mind, tools that I need, support that I need, permission to receive them, permission to have them the whole time, allowing myself to grow and learn and solve with support. And I may have doubts. I may not be able to lean 100% into this right away. That's okay. It's a learning curve. There are no rules for this. There's no pass fail for me in receiving this support. When I'm ready, when I'm clear, I can receive it. I can offer it to myself. And if I don't accept it, I can try again. It's okay if this is a process for me to adopt. But I give myself permission to try as many times as I need. And I give myself permission to hold space, to receive the answers, the words, the feelings, the actions that are going to help me and support me in this way. And I release any and every expectation that I have to do something or earn something first before I can give this to myself. Because maybe I learned that in my past. And maybe I need to unweave that from somewhere. And I'll get to it. But I don't need to unweave it before I give it to myself now. It's okay if it's complicated. It's okay if it's messy. but it can still be mine. And I choose to stand up for myself right now to have that right. Choosing support. Choosing my support. Allowing my empowerment. My words. What I need. And giving it to myself. And as I continue to explore this possibility and strengthen this relationship with support along my journey, I'm open to it becoming an easier and a more fun process. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and breathe. So now that we're all feeling empowered, I'm going to go back and just revisit. Yes. Okay. So concern about, I know, Sneha, you just mentioned people pleasing. I feel like there's a lot around that, like an over giving, like a demand of an overgive for other people. So that, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that now. Okay. So consider a situation where, or multiple situations where you feel expected to give more than what is healthy, more than what other people are expected, in some way where it hits you, where you're like, that's not right. That's not right that that's put on me. Whether it's a judgment, a caretaking role, um, whatever way that looks for you. And if this doesn't exist in your life, then there's another boundary that maybe you can think of, that doesn't have as firm of a line as you would like, or that you're afraid to put there because of what the consequences might be. And the consequences could be, maybe I'm not a good person if I do this. I don't like who I think I have to become in order to have this boundary that should just exist because the other person isn't doing what they're supposed to do in this situation. Um, so anything swirling around all of that, that's where we're going with, like, people pleasing, boundaries. Um, so take a moment, get clear on where that is, what that is. We'll start tapping again on the side of the hand. Actually, I have a strong feeling this is a big thing for a lot of us in the group today. So we're going to switch to the 9 gamut, and we're just going to knock some of this intensity out. So nose forward, we're going to circle our eyes. It looks weird, but it has a lot of basis in science. So I'm not being silly if you haven't done this before. We're going to look up at 12 o'clock, and then you can just choose the direction. It doesn't matter which way, we'll go both. And we're going to turn our eyes in a circle on the periphery of our vision. And as we do that, we're also going to tap, and we're going to speak different phrasing. So nose forward, don't move your head, just your eyes. Go ahead and look up at 12, tapping in between your bones, on the back of your hand, in between your fourth and third fingers. Slowly start circling your eyes. People pleasing. People pleasing for others. I don't ever people please for me. It's always about other people. Giving too much. Too much being expected. Having no power over the other person. People pleasing. The damages of people pleasing. Why do I people please? I must be weak. Why do I people please? I must not be enough. I must not be lovable. Whatever reason I people please, it must mean something really negative about me. If I don't people please, bad things will happen. Bad things that will be my fault. My fault. Things that are my fault with people pleasing. Go ahead and turn your eyes the other direction. People pleasing because I really want to help. People pleasing because I'm trying to save someone else. People pleasing because I offered once upon a time and now I can't get out of it. Taken advantage of. Stuck. Stuck in people pleasing. Okay, go ahead and relax your eyes. We're going to switch back to the side of the hand, but keep tapping. We're not going to take a break. People pleasing sounds like a list of good things. People are being cared for, they're being seen, they're receiving nurturing and care. Sometimes people are even grateful. What is it that makes people pleasing negative? What is the line between giving to someone and people pleasing? I wonder why that line is so hard for me to define. I wonder why people pleasing is so prominent in my life. I must have picked it up in college. I'm sure it's something that I learned in my 30s. It's probably something that naturally develops with adulthood. No, no. That's not where people pleasing comes from. But I wonder, where did it come from? How did I learn a negative trait for nurturing and connection? I wonder when in my life this would have occurred. When would I have been taught that this was how I was expected to function? So give yourself a minute and think back as far as you can, likely as a child, because a lot of times this is handed to us where it feels tied in with our survival. Because as children, it's very important to be liked by the person who's taking care of us. And this is biological. It's not necessarily something that the child is thinking of. But we want to encourage our caretakers to continue taking care of us. So if they're happy with us, if they're generous with us, that's more likely to ensure our survival. And if you were placed in a situation where you felt like you were responsible or that you had governing control over your environment due to how well someone was happy with you, then people pleasing is likely tied into what you feel is necessary for survival or for their survival. So, when in your life would that have happened? And if you're not sure, just choose an age. It's okay if you don't know exactly. This will still work just because of the beautiful way our brains work. It's okay if you don't have solid, clear answers. It can fill in the gaps. So pick an age and see yourself at that age. And it can just be a paused moment in time. You don't have to go back into any memories. And what is it that that younger version of you believes is true about caring for others and people pleasing? When I do things for others, that's how I know they love me. That's what makes them love me. When I do things for others, it allows them to feel good and happy, and then they can do things that they need to get done. If I don't, then they're too overwhelmed and other things don't happen. Or I have the capacity and I see a big difference when I do take this on. Therefore, I should. Other people aren't strong enough to do this. I don't know why I'm strong enough to do this, but I am. So I do it because I care and I love other people. I want them to feel better. So I take care of them. Whatever other things your younger self might be saying. We're going to say some things back to this younger version. First of all, that they're strong and smart. What incredible solutions that they found. for this time in their life. Because at some point, the people pleasing likely was a survival tactic. And it worked. You survived. And that was very wise and maybe even necessary at the time. So there's nothing wrong that that's what happened. It was a good solution. And let your younger self know, I'm very proud of you for being able to come up with that. It's a pretty complex solution. I'm very proud of you for finding a solution. But now let them know that guess what? We're not little anymore. Now we're all grown up. And we have choices, we have abilities. It's not always easy. Sometimes they're still complicated to figure out, but the opportunity is there. And even if it's new and it feels uncertain, the consequences and outcomes, not the same. Not the same as they would be at a younger time. And as you consider all the people that you yourself are still engaged with in people pleasing, look at this younger version of yourself. Look at this younger version who's still tasked with taking care of all of those people. And can you give this younger person permission to let that go and say, this isn't your task anymore. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to set you free of this. You don't need to hold this anymore. I don't know how yet, and it feels maybe big and overwhelming and completely unsure on how it's going to all work out, but I'm going to work on it. And you know what? I'm probably not going to be perfect at it. I bet it's going to take a lot of tries and a lot of effort. And even if it feels scary and I don't really, maybe I don't have a lot of belief that I'm even going to be able to do it. But I'm going to try. So now let that version of yourself go back to, I don't know, you can imagine them playing or having their favorite treat or whatever, and let that go and come back to the situation right now that you're stuck in people pleasing, and you've got this other person or people who are engaged in this with you. As I consider my current situation that I have with people pleasing, I wonder, what is it that I believe I truly have control of? What is it that I believe I'm agreeing to with people pleasing? And is it really a change? Like if I people please for a certain amount of time in this situation, that it'll resolve? Or is this more a way of functioning and the other person is never going to change. And so then that leaves me with a decision. Am I willing to continue to maintain this status quo that I've been agreeing to hold? Or am I willing to let them make whatever choice they will and stand up for myself and where I feel the boundary needs to be for me? And I forgive myself if I've chosen this and I've avoided asking this question because it hurts. Because maybe I know as soon as I no longer people please, this person will make a choice that's going to affect me that I don't want. And I really have hoped for a different outcome. And I've been willing to sacrifice myself for a different outcome. And I could judge myself for that and say not kind things to myself, but I can also say, what an act of love, even if it's a little misguided, what an act of love. Because I really just wanted this to be positive, and I'm doing everything in my power to try and make it that. And what an act of strength, even if misguided, that I've been able to continue to function and to offer this in this way for so long because I care and because I love and because I really, 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 really am hoping that some point it'll be enough and the outcome can be beautiful without me having to lean so hard. And it's okay for me to examine it. And it's okay for me to have feelings about it. And if I choose to continue to engage in a way that I'm right now calling people pleasing, then I give myself permission to do that. And if I'm done and I want to start to shift my own behavior and accept whatever behavior that brings me back, I accept that too. Even though there's a lot around this, potentially an entire lifetime, I can start in one small place. And I give myself permission to figure it out one bit at a time. It's okay if this doesn't unweave quickly. It's okay if it's a little confusing or messy, feels tricky. And it's okay if it's hard and it hurts. That doesn't mean it's wrong, even if the other person tells me that it's wrong. It's okay for me to govern my own principles. Even if the pathway isn't what I was hoping it could be. But I wonder what I can give myself as a support while I'm doing this, while I'm learning this. Where can I put this outpouring of love and give that I'm used to doing and place it somewhere that's going to feel really good? I wonder if my younger self would appreciate that. And maybe then my younger self could be a cheerleader for me. Maybe I could allow myself to build that relationship because I bet my younger self will reciprocate. And maybe that will feel good. Maybe that can help me to give myself more permission to let this grow. People pleasing. This situation. My options. Outcomes. Permission. Permission to see clearly. Permission to act truly. And as I step into this process at whatever speed, at whatever percent feels possible and empowering for me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Just breathe. We're going to pause here for just about 10, 12 seconds. And with that, don't be surprised if there's a lot of emotions, if you felt blocks, if you felt bursts of irritation or impatience, dissociative behavior where you weren't paying attention for a while. That's a very deep and complicated unweaving. It's not as straightforward as some other things that we can encounter in adulthood. This typically has really, really, really deep early roots. So I think let's close with a positive tap and supporting ourselves and acknowledgement and recognition, just for doing the work, for being here, for showing up for yourself, for showing up for others. Let's take a moment to recognize some of that. Okay. So we'll start again. Actually, I'm going to start here. Start by the heart. You can start on whatever tapping point you want. You never have to follow me. If you feel like tapping on a different spot, please follow that. As I begin to consider right now my efforts that I'm putting into my own healing, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I consider in this moment my efforts, my thoughts, my actions that I'm putting towards my healing and becoming a better version of myself, I give myself permission to receive praise. Even if I can only creak that door open for the next few minutes, I'm going to give it my best shot to right now receive some acknowledgement and some praise for what I've done and what I'm doing towards healing. Acknowledgement, gratitude, joy, celebration, appreciation, and even love. And I release any expectation that I may have had that I needed to get there first. Anything that I may have placed on myself that made it feel like all of these steps in the middle don't matter, because they do. Just the fact that I'm in the middle of it is amazing. Are you kidding me? It's so great that I'm here. It may feel messy. It may feel chaotic, and I feel completely lost sometimes. But what I'm doing is incredible. And it's beautiful. Good for me. Good for me. Look at me. I'm stepping up. I'm taking charge. I'm learning things that really matter. And I am truly making a difference. Wow. That's so incredible. That's so incredible that I'm making a difference. And I love that I'm making a difference for me. It's okay that I'm making a difference for me. In fact, it's so smart of me to make a difference for me. I am so wise to be choosing me to put efforts into to make a difference. And you know why? Because I encounter a lot of people. And if I am in a place where I'm just exuding joy and possibility and happiness and excitement and support and wisdom, I can offer that to every single person that I encounter. Whereas if I were taking all of this effort and putting it into another person, well, it could make a difference for them, but maybe also it wouldn't, because it would be their choice. And even if it did make a difference, as influencing one person, but what if I could see that focusing on myself, I still get to help that one person, but I'm so full of all of the nurture and the care and the support and the love that I've given myself, that I have more. And it's easy to give to even more people. And my quality of life. Wow. All of the beautiful things I get to receive because of the work that I'm doing. And I am proud of myself for that. And even when it's difficult and my emotions are difficult and my thoughts are difficult and it's no fun at all. I still support myself. And I still believe in myself. And even if it's difficult for me to say right now, I believe I'm worth it. And I know that because my actions are showing that. Even if something in me, it's still hard, I'm still releasing some belief that feels like it isn't safe to say those words to myself yet. I'm saying it in some way because I'm proving it, because I'm here right now. And I'm contributing to myself and to this community. And me showing up matters. It matters for me, and it matters in this community. And I get to be a part of that. I get to receive that, and I get to give that because of what I'm choosing for me. And it's okay if not everybody's happy about that. There may be people in my life that will never be happy that I'm choosing this. But you know what? They weren't happy before either. And I really wish that I could have more of an influence sometimes. And it's okay if I wish that. It just means I love them. And I would really want differently for them. And who knows? Maybe me giving myself permission to be different might show them a way that they could choose differently too. But even if it doesn't, and even if that hurts and it's hard, I'm still so proud of me for the work that I'm doing and the choices that I'm learning to make and the habits that I'm learning to form, the relationships, even just inside of myself, that I'm learning to create. I acknowledge right now that's really badass. I hope that's okay to everybody. I hope that didn't offend anyone. I am so cool for doing all of this. I am really courageous because sometimes this is really hard, but I'm here anyway. I'm strong and I'm beautiful. Ooh, even if that's hard to say, and even if I go, what? And I'm open to discovering how I'm beautiful. And I'm open to discovering how I'm strong and how I'm important, how I'm unique, and how I'm connective. And I'm really proud of myself for being here. I'm so proud of myself for being here. And I acknowledge myself right now for that. It's really great. And as I take these few minutes that I've had to appreciate myself, I go throughout my day. I give myself permission to hold tightly to the good emotions that it's created for me. And whatever else comes up for me, I have this. And I can access it again if I want to, whenever I want to. And as I finish tapping, for right now, I give myself permission to take this with me and to allow it to grow, whether I'm focusing on it or not, because it's there. It's my North Star. and I deeply and completely accept myself. I'm going to tap for just a few more seconds. Okay. And take a breath. You're amazing. You're awesome. And I really mean that. And it's not a barrier to me that I don't know everything about your life and I don't know what you're struggling with. You're still awesome. And I really, really appreciate that you're here. And it really does say something about your strength and your desires and your ability to adapt to receive what you're looking for. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that this session has been helpful for you. As always, email me if you have questions, if there's something that you want to tap on that you don't want to have your name attached to, you want it to be kept anonymous. I'm here for you. And I will put that in the chat. Boop. And it's just I have to click on it first. It's Amanda at EFT Universe. Talking and tapping at the same time is not a skill I have strongly. .com. Okay, so there it is. It's in the chat. It'll always be there. If you watch the replay and you're like, oh no, I didn't write it down, just scroll to the very end of the video. You'll see it in the chat there. So again, have a wonderful week. I'll be thinking about you and I look forward to seeing you next week. Mwah. Take care.